Hello and welcome along to the Timeform Sporting Life Dublin Racing Festival Sunday preview. We'll be looking ahead to the action on the card at Leopardsown, where one of the headline acts on the card is Fabiolo, and we've got a race replay here of him winning the Hillyway Chase on his comeback. Matt, is this just yet another Willie Mullins banker for the weekend?
I don't think it is. I'm going to take one on. I mean, I can certainly see him having a lot of short-priced winning favourites, and you've got to take the odd one on, and I think this might be one of them. Not that he's not a good horse. Look, this is a sensational 2-mile chaser. Really strong horse. He's a good jumper. He is prone to the odd error, isn't he? And I certainly wouldn't bet on a horse.
There's one coming up.
Yeah, I was about
a race-ending error, but he does. He sort of. If you've had a bet against him, he gives you some hope, doesn't he? All the time. Even last year when he won the Arkle, he wasn't foot perfect throughout. He's a fantastic horse, but I think there's competition here. You're looking at a short price favourite against some really good horses.
So are you in the Dino Blue camp?
I'm not. No,
I
just wonder if maybe Gentleman to Me, last year's winner, might be able to reverse the form with Dino.
You're a big Danny Mullins fan, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, we're going again with Danny Mullins, aren't we? Yeah, he gave it a fantastic ride last year when he sort of made all and beat an odds-on favourite for the double green team in Blue Lord, and I realise Fabiolo's on a slightly different level to Blue Lord, but I think he's a bit underestimated, about 7-8-1 Gentleman to Me.
Well, I think there is an odds-on shot to take on Sunday. I don't think it's this one though, Matt. No, I think if you try to get this beat, you might have to go for a lie down. I think you're banking on him falling, because yes, Dino Blue has that form from here last time, the JP pair, but they're just not in the same league as Fabiolo. They need to find another chunk of improvement. I think that if he jumps around, he wins, doesn't he? In my opinion. I know he's 4-11 and being boring, but
he's going to have to jump well, because Gentleman to Me, I'd imagine, on drying ground will be sent on and out in front, and he's going to have to. Yeah. He's going to have to jump well.
One thing I will say though, it's not a good state of affairs, is it, when All Bar want to train by Willie Mullins? You might as well run it at Closutton and ring Henry de Bromhead and say, bring Captain Guinness, we're off for a school round. But that's another thing to bring up on another day, isn't it? All these good horses trained by Mullins, but at least they're running against each other.
Yeah.
I do think he'll win. It'll be very hard to beat.
So Kieran firmly with Fabiolo. Matt looking to take him on. What do you think? Let us know in the comments who you think will win the Dublin Chase on Sunday. Moving on now to the Ladbrokes Novice Chase, and a race where a lot of talk this weekend has been around Gaelic Warrior, who was also in the 2-mile race. We've got a video of him winning here. His jumping is also a big talking point, Matt. Everyone talking about how he jumps to the right.
As was what happened at the finish line.
Yeah. How do you see this panning out on Sunday?
Good question, because tactically this is going to be a fascinating race. Not only is it a very high-class novice chase, but it is a fascinating race tactically. Now, I suppose the way that you think about how you might ride Gaelic Warrior on round 2 miles at Leopardsown is that you allow him that little bit of freedom to go right, and then turning for home, as we've seen so many times from Paul Town and certainly over Christmas this year, head towards that stands rail, because you've got another couple of fences to negotiate. No fence to negotiate in the straight?
Just the one, yeah.
Just the one, yeah. That final fence, you don't want to be giving up too much ground against these really classy horses. Grange Clare West, who won so well in the Grade 1 over Christmas, and Factifile, who I think we're both slightly in love with.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Gaelic Warrior's odds on. Yes, he was really impressive at Limerick. There is that doubt about him jumping to the right. Now, he's not a York Hill. He's not going to jump violently out to the right. He does go a little bit right, though. He's shown that on his trips to Cheltenham last year when he was second to Imperi Pass, wasn't he?
He won at this meeting, didn't he, last year over hurdles?
Yeah,
but that was a handicap
blot. Yeah. I just think, like you said, the level of opposition. Grange Clare West, devastatingly impressive. I'm not sure about the drop-picking trip for him. What do you reckon?
No, I think he's interested in this, because Willie Mullins is running 3 real stars here, or potential
almost
stars.
Like a trial, isn't
He's
it?
working out what goes where, and for me, I wonder if maybe Grange Clare West is going to confirm himself more in the 3-mile department here. Maybe go for the Brown Advisory. Factifile, I'm hoping, could be
so
real.
Impressive.
I think he might be the Gallopin de Champ when Gallopin came through the ranks and obviously was going to win the Turners, having won this race.
Shades of Florida Pearl, straight from bumpers into chasing. Forget the hurdling career. He was devastatingly impressive here at Christmas.
That jump of improvement from finishing second behind American Mike first time out to winning the beginner's chase. It was a good beginner's chase at Christmas. He won so impressively. Willie Mullins was reaching for all the superlatives that day, and I believed every word of it. I really do think this horse is on the fast track to stardom.
Yeah, Willie's worked quite right when he got beat first time out, and even the likes of Allaho got beat first time out over fences. I think this is a proper animal, and I'll be all over him.
So Matt looking to take on El Fabiolo with Gentleman de Me, and both the guys keen to take on Gaelic Warrior with Factor File. Onto the Irish Champion Hurdle. Is anyone going to take on State Man?
No, not for me, I don't think.
I don't think you can you?
No, he's way clear of this lot, I think. Bob Ollinger's the sneaky one, I suppose. If it was really bad ground, if it was heavy ground, I'd be half inclined to say Bob Ollinger might be able to be nursed into this race and come and pick up some of the pieces.
Is he quick enough?
If the others are tired. Not on this ground, I don't think. I think on decent-ish, well, I know they're calling it sort of soft, good to soft, but it'll be drying ground by the weekend.
Entry hurdles a race for him.
Beating State Man, and I can't have Imperial Pass beating State Man either. I think Imperial
Yeah,
Pass.
Imperial Pass. Start of the season, I thought he was going to be the one that could really put it up to Constitution Hill. I told everyone he's better than State Man, and he's been a bit too keen. He didn't jump well enough last time. He's not been the same horse that absolutely hammered Gaelic Warrior at Cheltenham for some reason, and the talk about him going up in trip, I don't think the trip's the issue. He just hasn't looked good enough to me.
Not yet. I think it could well come good in the spring. They might
well
find a nice race for him over that intermediate distance.
If it wasn't for Constitution Hill, we'd be saying State Man was the next Faheen. He'd be an absolute superstar, but they're adamant he wasn't quite right at Cheltenham, which is a bit scary, but yeah, he'll win this.
So State Man to add to the accumulator that we started on the Saturday preview. Go back and watch that if you haven't already. With Galopin de Champs and Marie National, I think we'll be lucky to get evens for that. So moving on to best bets on the card. I'm hoping you guys have got some fancies in the handicaps.
You've got a good one here, Matt, when we're coming down.
I've got a good one, yeah. I mean, it's a competitive it's the Liffey handicap hurdle, isn't it? Over
Gaelic Warrior won last year,
It's the race Gaelic Warrior won last year. Real competitive stuff. I think JP Master's got 5 or 6 in there, but one of them stands out for me. So Scottish, I think this is. It's typically shrewd, isn't it, of Emmett Mullins to find an opportunity like this. He's a horse that went off one of the favourites for the December Gold Cup at Cheltenham just last month. That was over fences, obviously.
He doesn't jump fences.
He was running okay, wasn't he? But no, he doesn't quite, I don't think. And this switch back to hurdles, not only, his record over hurdles is good, but he's able to run off a much lower mark. He runs off 128 here. When you think about he's running off marks in the 140s in Britain over fences. Early on last season, second to Boot Hill at Ascot when he was quite an eye-catcher that day, and Boot Hill's a very solid yardstick around Ascot. This is a very well-handicapped horse. He's under 10 stone something with Donna Myler on board. I think this is a real strong chance. He's a solid each-way bet if you're getting extra places, 10, 12 to 1.
Yeah, so Scottish looks a very interesting runner on Sunday. Kieran, your best bet on the card?
Yeah, maybe not one at such a wild price, about half the price, but I really like Feet of a Dancer in the opening mares race. She's won 3 of her last 4. She was devastatingly impressive last time out at, I think it was at Fairyhouse. She's gone up £12, but she travelled really strongly. She put the race to bed really quickly, and Paul Nolan looks to have another good mare on his hands. He had Mrs. Milner, and I think she ran in this. I can't quite remember, but this usually works out quite well in reviews to the mares races at Cheltenham. And it's interesting that in the last few years, as many as 7 mares have won handicaps, because we've got so many good mares at the minute. They're pushing the other mares who might have run in the mares hurdle into the handicaps. So keep an eye out for her. If she wins this, she could end up in a handicap at Cheltenham. But yeah, she's about 6 to 1. Feet of a Dancer.
So Feet of a Dancer for Kieran and So Scottish for Matt. It'll be hollow games for me on Sunday in the big handicap chase. I think this horse was a big eye catcher in the Galway Plate, where he stayed on really strongly to take third when the horses who were ridden prominently dominated that day. That was on decent ground. His last 2 runs have came on a heavy surface, which I don't think suited him at all, and I'm expecting in this return to a sounder surface to really play to his strengths. So hollow games for me on Sunday. Right, I think that's all from us. Thanks for watching, and good luck with whatever you're back in this weekend.